Welcome back, Guardians. Today's report will be an interpretation on a set of poems and tales designed to produce a more perfect form for the pursuit of knowledge. We will discuss the tales from the dreams of Alpha Lupi and attempt to apply an interpretation to the curious words. But be forewarned, this is but one interpretation of a multitude, and in no means is more right than any other that has come before or will come after. This is not the standard pragmatism we apply to these reports, but it does not mean these tales are no less useful in the field, as they are molded through subjective rationale. When logic fails to lead us, emotions, opinions, and potential must guide us to our destination. If you have the time to lend your ear, I will give you one interpretation from the readings on the dreams of Alpha Lupi. We will start with the first reading, describing the formation of life in its totality, an idea or philosophy, if you will, on why the universe forces itself against our will as we attempt to defy the laws of matter. The excerpt states cryptically, "The universe is a beast. The body is made from tiny stuff, from near nothings, from atoms swimming through a blood of crackling sparks. Simple, eternal laws shape the beast. The largest galaxy is ruled by principles of mass and motion. Electrons are slave to charge and chance, and this is why the universe feels inexhaustible, eternal. No sun complains about its death. Life is the problem. Life can be woven from flesh or circuit or thoughtful light. Origins don't matter. But small, half-smart creatures have a fierce talent for denying the inevitable, for balking and complaining about injustices that don't exist and consequences that should be borne in silence." The reading states what some of us may overlook, that the possibility of life is an improbability. Atoms would form molecules to form bodies of cells, which would in turn create creatures both microscopic and massive in proportion. We cherish life because we are full of it. We are but the sword and the hammer, as we contain the aptitude to both create and destroy entities. But the universe does not look at life through our eyes. Its perception is limited by its causality, because to the universe, life is a viewpoint, a sanctuary in a sea of blackened void, a possibility made real by the formation of an uncountable number of atoms. To the universe, you cannot die, as matter cannot be created or destroyed, as determined by the law of the conservation of mass. You never existed, you never cease to exist, and you will exist, all through the same passage of time. Because life is a perception, a form thought in the minds of simple beings, mired in frailty and complexity. We stand upon a broken world. It contains battlefields that are ongoing but endless, as we continue in brief defiance. As synapses of our mind, whether organic or computational, form thoughts linked to actions, we will crawl against the laws of the universe and continue to uncover the tombs hoarding its precious secrets. But there are some who would act outside the laws as we comprehend them. The traveler in the encroaching darkness, the true great players on the stage, acting out a drama as old as the universe. We will commit to them our attention, because we are their audience and their collateral, caught within their eternal struggle. Another tale from the dreams of Alpha Lupi described the traveler, in a poetic form, explaining some of its potential past and aspirations. It delves into the traveler's history before it came to kindle the flame of humanity's golden age, and it offers us solace to why the traveler acts. For its actions have led us to this point, an age in which the fire of intergalactic travel has been lost, but not forgotten. At a time in which the age of men is but a crumbling ruin clinging to the past. We do not blame the traveler for these circumstances, but perhaps the dreams of Alpha Lupi can offer us insight. You have lived as invisibly as possible, flickering from solar system to solar system, making grand plans, overseeing the culturing of civilizations, before leaving in a blink. But you have no recollection of ever wanting worship or even thanks from those blessed by you. But memory is heavy now. It feels like lead and neutronium and electroweak matter fashioned into a moon-sized ball that you must carry as you move. Now your flight is rapid, your vast mind infected with such dread and toxic doubt that you find yourself afraid of the simple act of thought. And it is your children you must turn to now in time of need. It speaks of a heavy sacrifice our traveler made for us and our creations. What the traveler has done for humanity, the XO and the Awoken, it has done for countless others. There could be more out there in the void of space, or in other realms of existence, all of whom refuse to bend the knee to the darkness. Or we could be the last flickering hope in an eternal ocean devoid of light and resistance. The text states the traveler has doubt, the fear of what could be but is yet to occur and may never occur. It is the same fear that can occupy our minds and force us to ineptitude, taking first our thoughts and then our hopes, burying us with a weightless burden. This may explain his silence. As for the speaker, the texts of Alpha Lupi are like a dagger cutting into the mind, acting as a possible rationale for the lack of words. But the final portion of the text speaks to us. We are the traveler's children, and as we continue to crawl back into the light, we find opportunities to restore his once limitless ability. Perhaps the words could mean more. Perhaps we do not need to hide our light under the shadow of something broken. We could do so much more. Look to Kabar, to Ares, and to Toland. These guardians present the gift bestowed upon us as the same ability the traveler once did, to defend, to redeem, and to discover. The day the traveler awakens, it will look upon us with a golden splendor, and the doubt that once encapsulated it will be washed away with the ritualized sea of our warmth, because we act through the traveler as it acts through us. The third portion of text speaks to the pursuit the darkness places upon the traveler. It intrinsically questions what motivates our traveler to movement and asks, what is your driving force? In the most simplistic form, it asks why. This has been such a long chase. This will be the place you will fight and win. But do you really know why you go where you go and where this journey is taking you? The chase leads you where you need to be, you believe, unless you are being pushed. Is it possible that our traveler is motivated by something other than its own freedom? Is the traveler a byproduct of a long-forgotten race or an unseen creator? The core of this questions the possibility of what we may never know. We choose to strike a bargain with our traveler, a quid pro quo. We will fight its immortal enemy as the traveler places its aegis upon us. Regardless of what free will the traveler may possess, we believe it has chosen to stand alongside us and face the inevitable, the encroaching darkness, and attain a lasting victory. The final reading from the dreams of Alpha Lupi speak to our traveler as a husk, no longer in its true form, sacrificing pieces of itself through countless years of survival. It has lost much at our expense. No quantitative amount could be placed upon the losses, but it seems to explain why the traveler remains silent, a broken shadow, awaiting to be restored. The knife had 1,000,000 blades, and you were a giant, powerful and swift, but the knife pinned you, cut your godly flesh away. Very little was left, you are sure, because you feel insignificant now. The hard slick of your soul, this is what remains. A body as small as a river stone, and just as simple. You picture yourself in a piece of indistinguishable grit, a nameless nothing hiding among the other nameless stones. Perhaps you glitter like a gem. Yes, pride makes you hope so. If only you could see yourself, but you have no eyes. Not the dimmest sense survives. What lives is memory. And what slim portion of these thoughts can you trust? The knife stole much more than your body. The traveler gave everything to safeguard humanity. Keep it pure from the poisonous fangs of our enemies, but it was not enough. He failed an uncountable number of souls, but that sacrifice would allow a future. A broken, scarred, and harsh reality that will always remain unforgiving. Perhaps our enemies never wished our demise. We were just simply in their way, a small obstacle that giants would sweep aside in but a brief moment. The traveler would lose itself in our defense, and all that remains is a relic to a more peaceful age of science and possibility, where enemies lived in our imaginations, and where the pen was mightier than the sword. Some would say we hide under a broken god, seeking out a meek existence on the edge of humanity's ruins. But there is something moving. It is unseen, but contains the force of incomprehensible mass. Guardians are guiding this movement, attaining victory and security for the city's future. Light returns to the traveler. It is no longer as barren as it once was. And with that return, so ends the age where we are pursued by fear. The the age in which we lose ourselves to battle and ring out together in defiance, proclaiming their end is nigh. This has been one interpretation of the dreams of Alpha Lupi. I ask you now, Guardians, what is yours?